What's up, guys? Sophs here, and welcome back to another fitness strategy talk. So this is the last bonus video you guys are getting for this month, because trying to find little ideas just to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna cut that back a little bit now, because you already had last month's video and now you're having this month's video, and it's just gonna be easier to not having to think of an idea. Number 2 ideas for next week. So cool. So this week I'm going to talk to you guys, well, technically this bonus video for this week I'm going to talk to you guys about is childhood trauma. Only because in my first video for today, I did talk about the eating disorder that I'm going through, or eating problem I'm currently going through, and a lot of what I went through as a child could actually explain how I am now as well. So for those who do not know, and I'll link down below for original videos to all of my child abuse story as well. I'll chuck that down below as well. I went through 13 years of physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and I also went through neglect by my father, and it was 13 years of it, since I was 6 weeks old until I was about 13. I'm already getting emotional just talking to you guys about it. Back when I was little, and this is something that Mum and I and my brother, we will always do, before going to my father's and after going to my father's, we would always have junk food, because we would usually eat lollies, which were the lollies that we did have back when we were children. It makes me and my brother physically ill just to eat it. We were fed chips. We sometimes had some junk food, but it was more pizza and hot chips. We had sandwiches, and we'll mostly eat noodles or pasta, and we have veggies. And you're probably going to think, oh, that actually sounds really yummy and delicious and very nutritious. But the things that you guys don't know is that all the weekends that we would go there, like for hours on end, we'll just sit downstairs and we'll watch retaped episodes of a kids program here in Australia that we do have, and like watching Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, sort of shows like that. We would sit down and we will watch it non-stop for about the entire day, and that's like probably a week's worth of TV shows, and we would just get so bored. And that's some stuff that happened when we were actually there. We did got to play some games, some stuff there, and even though sometimes we didn't have much contact with my other uncles or aunts, or sometimes my cousins, which I don't know a lot about the other side of my family much. I only know more of the Moran family more. But we will basically what's the bloody damn word? We were sort of was kept inside more, and I'm trying to find the word to say it, and it's this to say that it's inside. Other than that, we basically did nothing there, even though through most of the schooling as well, probably when I was in year 6 or 7 maybe, I did bring to him work that I needed to do, but I got too distracted by it, and it just wasn't a setting that I was used to do my homework. Not only that, when I was in choir for 2 years in primary school, and this is the thing where I'm so very much connected to music, because I used to put it on repeat, I used to practice, and there's times when he will come up and tell me not only to shut up, but also to turn down my music, and I didn't listen to him. but to go in a little bit more detail as well. So I just want to give you guys a little warning at this point. I'm going into a little bit more details of my childhood trauma. I was slapped across the face twice on both sides. He pulled my hair. He did this thing called the mucking grip on my knee. So basically, let's just example, this is my leg, this is his hand. He basically, hang on, it's better off if I actually show you. Let's just make sure nothing's showing. Okay, that's what I do. So basically, he will put his hand over like this, and he will have a bigger hand, and he would actually go and pressure point my knee, and he did that constantly when I was a kid. Another thing that he actually did do to me was and this is something that is very traumatic that I personally went through. So I think I was 6 or 7 at the time. He pushed me into a corner of a chair. I can't remember what was leading up to it. I actually go blank even trying to think about it, and it's something that I deal with on a daily basis, which is blackouts, which is a mental blank for me that I do suffer from. He pushed me into an arm of a chair, and on the Australian 50 cent, which you guys can go look up, I had a bruise on my private part that was the 50 cent coin. And I actually did not notice. It was the very next day I went to the doctors, and I had to have an examination that was pretty horrific, and I can still remember it. And just thinking about it makes me want to cry, because I just felt like no one was there. Even though my mum was in the room, it was horrifying. I'm not going into details of what happened in that examination because it makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry so much because how horrified I was, not knowing what was really happening to me. But I do know that what he was, and this was a male person who was examining me, and he was putting medical drops just to help me heal down there. But it will explain all of the urinary infections that I had when I was a kid, and it's pretty horrifying. You can just tell by my voice how I just want to cry. It's been very tough since my childhood trauma, and I want you all to know that it's never the kid's fault. It's the parents' fault, and that's something that I always have come to terms with, even though I can't really accept his actions or forgive him, and a lot of people who may, I don't know, it's a very touchy subject for me, and I'm only 23 years old at the time I'm actually recording this video. It's just very incredibly tough. Just know that as a child, you are not responsible for what your parents do. Just know that, okay? And there's so many other young people or young children who, or even adults who still go through this and horrible trauma, especially with domestic violence. So many other things they could have already gone through. I want you to know that there's always light at the end of a tunnel, okay? I want you to know that there's a lot of things that I went through as a child that explains my behaviour. And a lot of people who know me back when I was in high school probably thought that I was completely full of crap, who thought I was completely up my own butt. And I wasn't. I just got out of my abuse, and it haven't even been 2 months. And when I was in high school, and this is when I was in year 8, when I just got out. But just know that you're not alone, and you're not. if you want to talk to someone who's been through the same similar things, go down below to either my Facebook page or even my my Instagram. Please, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here to listen, and I'm not here to criticize or to judge. I will be here as someone to help you. If you do trust the place where you're from, go talk to them. You should not have to feel so closed up about this, because it's hard, and it's still hard for me for this very day. You can tell I'm about to cry, but you're not alone, okay? I love you all. I'll chuck up in an annotation of my actual my 13-year abuse story, so the annotation on wherever it comes up on your screen, and the link to this particular playlist. Thank you so much for joining me for this is the bonus video, the last bonus video you guys are getting for this month. But I want you to know how incredibly hard that it is to go through abuse, mental illness, of any kind of issues any of us may be going through, that we should not judge. We should just sit and listen and learn. Okay? I love you all so much. Remember just to breathe, and I'm here for you. Love you guys.